The Trojans are getting set to host the Moore Lions. If you're watching, you know this game has been moved from Friday to Thursday because of the impending weather. Stay tuned. The Trojans continue to play well at home and in district play. They're coming up next on Trojan TV. Welcome to Allan Trimble Stadium as we get set for the second-ranked Jenks Trojans to take on Dr. Eric Fox's alma mater, the Moore Lions. And Dr. Fox was off a couple of days this week, but he was not at the Louvre Museum. You were not there.
That wasn't me.
Okay,
wasn't
we
me.
wanted to make sure and to drop that. Welcome to the broadcast tonight on Trojan TV. Well, this game has been moved from Friday to Thursday. What kind of adjustments did Jenks need to make, or both teams need to make?
Well,
tonight?
kudos to both athletic departments and athletic director Clay Martin. It's a huge difference to move this on a Tuesday than a Wednesday, what it means to your other coaching staff, getting things ready. So it's not just a swapping a day out. It's giving those teams that Wednesday to make final preparations for all the things that they need to do. So kudos to Coach Martin and his staff as well as the Moore staff for getting that figured out, putting us in a safer position, and a night for a better football game. And that's what we want to see, is some great football tonight.
Yeah, we're expecting possible rain in the 10 o'clock hour, especially tomorrow. So that's why this game has been moved, because of possibly bad weather tomorrow. Let's take a look at the weather forecast, and it's brought to you by the Lodge Eatery and Pub in the 10 District downtown Jenks. 70 degrees. There you see the small chance of rain during the game will increase as the evening goes on. Winds at 8 miles per hour, gusting up to 17 miles per hour. When we come back, we'll have our players to bank on and the starting lineups next on Trojan TV.
When pain slows you down, even the simplest movements can feel out of reach. But you don't have to go through it alone. At Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma, we provide the results you want and the care you deserve. From diagnosis to recovery, our specialists offer advanced treatment and personalized care so you can heal and get back to what moves you. Because life keeps moving, and we'll keep you moving with it every step of the way. Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma. Heal, recover, advance.
It's more than just a rivalry. It's tradition. It's pride. It's Jenks versus Bixby. Win or lose, we know this game just means more. At Mabry Bank, we stand behind both Trojans and Spartans and the families and businesses that make each of these communities great. No matter what colors you wear tonight, we are proud to be your hometown bank. Mabry Bank. You matter at Mabry.
Tonight on Bark Island, it's the ultimate adventure at the Woodland West Pet Resort. Newcomers enter the villa. Will they become best buds or playful rivals in doggy daycare? It's glam time. Pups dressed to impress with top-notch grooming. Who rocks the best makeover? Sweet dreams are made in our luxury suites. Owners can peek in live. It's party time. Our pups strut their stuff with fresh tricks to wow the crowd. Trusted, professional, and oh so fun. Join the pack. Woodland West Pet Resort.
Welcome back to Allan Trimble Stadium. At the 50-yard line, you see Jenks Athletic Department Representative Leslie Sheppers. We'll talk about her in a little bit. Let's take a look at the matchup. Coach, this is the first time, the 10th overall meeting between the two schools. First time in a long time that Moore comes in unranked with a 3-4 record.
Unranked but very dangerous,
Yes.
right? They've got a lot of talented, skilled guys, and they've got nothing to lose, and they know that they're fighting for a position for postseason play. So I know Coach Gaylor has talked about his team about that. Got some really great skill guys, a very playmaker kind of quarterback, played wide receiver for them last year. So defense is going to have their hands full. They're not going to want any explosive plays. Offense wants to keep grinding those rushing yards and feeding KD, feed the beast.
Exactly. KD coming in averaging 172 yards rushing a game, 24 rushing touchdowns, and continues to rack up many items in the record book. There's Leslie Sheppers. Good look at her going out with the captains tonight. Tonight it's pink out. You might explain that.
Yeah, it's something that a lot of teams have done now to recognize that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and so a couple years ago had Mrs. Gaylor out here as the honoree. Tonight it's Leslie Shepers, like you said, the athletic department wonder person. She does it all. She makes Clay and that whole department look great. She does a fantastic job working now with the financial aspects of the department, but started a lot of the social media teams there, and had her own personal battle with cancer. Just a true Trojan and a true warrior, and so glad to see her out there with the coin toss tonight.
Nice to have her as part of the festivities before the game. Let's go down to Rob Labor. I'm sorry. All right, Rob's ready, the executive director of Jenks Public Schools of Communications, and he's on the sidelines. Hello, Rob.
Hello, Don King. Good to be with you as always tonight. Great night for football. Back-to-back Thursday nights here, guys. So a little bit of a change, but so glad that they were able to move this game like you guys talked about in that first segment. Got a beautiful night for football. Finally starting to feel like fall around these parts. And I think what you're looking for from the Trojan perspective tonight, especially over the course of these last 3 games, is some consistency on that defensive side of the ball. They've been pretty good on offense, been able to score at will, putting up 50 points consistently. But defensively, a few ups and downs, a few lapses as we saw in that second quarter against Deer Creek last week. So looking to get a few of those things cleaned up. And the guy that I'm looking at tonight, guys, is on that defensive side of the ball. My player to bank on this evening is number 90, Rhett Pangburn. The senior defensive lineman goes 6'4", 265 pounds. He's got 29 tackles on the season, 4 sacks. He's the guy that they call the swimmer based on his past in the pool, and he has improved rapidly, improved dramatically just in the last couple of seasons. So much so that he is committed to the Air Force Academy. He'll be heading there next year. Just an outstanding young man on his way to serve his country and quietly having a really solid season for this Trojan defense. Rhett Pangburn, my player to bank on tonight, guys.
He is indeed. 6 tackles last week with a sack. And as you say, came from the swimming program. Let's take a look at Eric Fox's player to bank on.
Well, you saw Carson Odom is my guy, and we'll be headed to the national anthem, so do we need to take a break for that? Or
we will join the band for the national anthem then. Successful last week in St. Louis at the Bank of, the Band of America. I knew I was going to screw that up. Band of America regional contest, finishing 10th. Let's take a look as the U.S. Army brings us our starters for tonight.
The offensive starters tonight for your Jenks Trojans are presented by Batteries and Bulbs. Starting at left tackle, number 79, Adafe Aruru. At left guard, number 69, Riley Kester. At center, number 60, Landon Webb. At right guard, number 50, Malik Craig. At right tackle, number 66, Jamison Mobley. At tight end, number 9, Braxton Daniel. Starting at wide receiver, number 23, Cade Klein. Another wide receiver, number 11, Jalen Cato. Also a wide receiver, number 5, Caleb Dillard. At running back, number 2, KD Jones. And your quarterback tonight, number 7, Landon Kizar. The defensive starters tonight for your Jenks Trojans are presented by U.S. Army. Starting at defensive end, number 48, Orlando Williams. At the other defensive end, number 90, Rhett Pangburn. On the inside, number 8, Luke McAnally. At outside linebacker, number 23, Cade Klein. Also at outside linebacker, number 33, Carson Odom. At inside linebacker, number 30, Pierce Brand. The final linebacker, number 12, Clark Carricker. At free safety, number 5, Caleb Dillard. At strong safety, number 4, Nashua Charleston. At cornerback, number 11, Jalen Cato. At the other corner, number 6, Zion Castleberry. Kicking tonight for the Trojans, number 25, Owen Mahan. And the long snapper, number 59, Sam McCown.
There are the Trojans getting ready to come out onto the field. We will come back and give you the player to bank on for Eric Fox and the kickoff. It's next, Jenks and more on a Thursday night on Trojan TV.
Let me tell you about this new pretzel cheddar club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. When I add the Dijon mustard to this pretzel bun, it takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Craving comfort? Waldo's Chicken and Beer has you covered. Sink your teeth into our crispy southern fried or juicy rotisserie chicken. And don't forget our scratch-made sides like mac and cheese plus our original sauces. So grab a beer and get clucking to Waldo's. 71st and Yale, Broken Arrow, and in Owasso. Waldo'sChicken.com.
Come with us to the new Meteora location on 61st and Yale. If you haven't been to Meteora before, you are missing out. From the large portions to the great prices, this is really one of the best places to eat in Tulsa. Not to mention the incredible service you receive from each team member. So get to Meteora on 61st and Yale as soon as you can, and don't forget to try the churros.
Hey Trojans, get the only card that donates to Jenks Public Schools every time you use it. TTCU Federal Credit Union has donated more than $160,000 so far. Support the Trojans with your card today.
As we get set for tonight's game, the Moore Lions will get the football, but there is Eric Fox's player to bank on.
Yeah, real quick, you see he's got 4 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 4 quarterback hits. He had a great game last week. It's going to be important for Carson. He continues to develop as a sophomore. Going to be important for him to play well tonight, to put pressure on that quarterback, to contain that quarterback, especially with all the secondary injuries that we have in that defensive backfield tonight. And I'm sure we'll talk about some of that a little bit later as well. But Carson's my guy tonight.
He has had a great year last week. 7 tackles, 3 behind the line, and 2 sacks. In fact, he's had at least 6 tackles in 6 of the 7 games this year. So Jenks won the toss. They deferred. The Moore Lions will get the ball to start the game. They are 3-4. They won their first 2 games and won the Moore War, if you will, in impressive fashion. They beat Westmore and they beat Southmore to start the year. Their 2 rivals. Beat Westmore 38-13, then beat Southmore 28-20. Went to Norman North and lost 61-24. Opened their home season against Mustang and just lost by a point to Mustang, and then went to Bixby, got drilled, and then 2 weeks ago beat Deer Creek for their first district win, and last week only lost to Norman by 5 points.
Well, and that's what we say. This is a dangerous team, right? We know how much trouble we had with Mustang. They lost to Mustang by a point. And so a dangerous team. It'll be interesting to see what they do at tailback tonight. Tailback might have been injured last week. It was injured last week. We don't know if he'll be back. And right now it looks like the backup, Ken Coulter, is in for the Lions.
Interesting. Ozias Adams is who you were talking about. He was actually warming up before the game, so we'll see if we see him. The quarterback's Maverick Gardner, who throws it over the middle for the big tight end. Incomplete for Tucker Stull, Stull. He is also a linebacker, a junior. His brother was an all-state player at those same positions a year ago.
Yeah, right there. Important. Got Jalen Cato starting at corner tonight. Got Cade Klein helping him out a little bit. They're going for a play-action pass to the big, tall receiver. He is dangerous, looking for a physical mismatch with him on Cato tonight.
So 2nd down for the quarterback Gardner, who was a wide receiver a year ago. So running play, and that's not going to work. Maybe a yard gain. Dan Leader is our referee. He is a new crew, at least new to me. He has not been, that I recall, a referee for the Jenks, any of the Jenks games the last several years. But in when I watched Adam Gaylor, the Jenks head coach, interact with them, they gave each other a hug. So this could be a group from the Oklahoma City area, because Adam was the Westmore head coach for a couple of years. And that pass incomplete. Good pressure by Carricker and Riley Kester.
Good 3-and-out stand right there for that defense unit. You had Pierce Brand back in. Good to see him back after an injury, leading those guys. In the play before, Kyron Scott in there. That time they brought Carricker. They stemmed to a front there. And put a lot of pressure, made the quarterback get rid of the ball early.
Hey, one note, guys, 32 on the Jenks defense is actually Carson Odom. He ripped his jersey last week, so 33 wasn't available. So 32 is Carson Odom, your player to bank on there, Coach Fox.
Thank you for the little help. I appreciate it.
Good curveball. There's the punt. Jenks looked like they jumped in the encroachment area, but they get it back. Here's Cade Klein returning the punt instead of KD, and Klein gets 10 up to the 30.
Well, good first stand, and good job by the Executive Director of Communications, Rob Labor, on the assist right there. Since Carson was my guy, it's good to know that he's in on the play.
Well, a couple other important injury updates for you guys. Also, Pierce Brand missed last week's game against Deer Creek, so he is healthy and back in the lineup tonight, as is Caleb Dillard. Also did not play last week against Deer Creek, so big boost for this Trojan lineup to have those guys back. And we'll go over a couple of guys who are out this evening in just a moment.
All right. I see one of them, one of the offensive linemen, backup linemen, out tonight. Here's a run by KD for about 5.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Don. Bo Bright, the offensive lineman, goes 6'7". This senior is out tonight. Got a cast on that hand. Also, Malachi Dillard not dressed tonight for the Trojans, and Ace Gillum, the starting corner, still out as well.
Okay. 2nd and 5. Oh, look at this. To Dillard. Caleb, good stutter step inside the 20-yard line, and saving the tackle was Trayvon Nixon.
Little razzle-dazzle right there. Good to see on the replay. Going to toss it to Dillard. Kester's out in front, and he's got Hendricks there as well. Braxton doing a nice job getting him out there, and then using the stiff arm, cutting back to the inside. And Braxton Daniel, I called him Hendricks. Had a little brain lapse there for a minute, but nice call right there. Good execution on the script. Something Coach Cronister thought they could scheme him up with.
And they do it for 36 yards. Here's KD again, and picks up about 3 down to the 16-yard line.
Talked to KD today. He's really kind of a guy that needs a rhythm. He needs a flow, and so they're going to try to get him into this early, get him off to a good start. So look for him to pound it inside. We know he's a tough runner down around the goal line.
Luke McAnally in at tight end on the right side. Braxton Daniels, the H-back on the right side. Good look there from the Trojan TV crew. KD, though, caught at the line of scrimmage by one of their 2-year starters, Dominic Chavez, a junior linebacker. So it'll bring up 3rd down and about 5.
Pretty good hold there on the right side, but Chavez takes away that running lane early, able to get at KD's feet early before he picks up momentum through the hole.
There you see on the screen, 3rd down and 4 after the gain of 3. Kazar going left to the 5, and he's in for his first varsity touchdown.
Rob, you just cannot keep all eyes on that quarterback read on KD, and you see here Landon's going to pull it beautifully and head to the end zone, Rob.
Yeah, so well executed there by Landon Kazar. And, man, KD's even good when he's a decoy, right? When he's just standing there attracting the eyeballs and attracting the attention of the defense. Everybody thinks on 3rd and short they know exactly where that ball's going, and Tyler Cronister dials up a great play call there and just perfectly pulled off by his quarterback.
Kick is good by Owen Mahan, and so the Trojans are off and running. Not even 3 minutes into the game, it is 7-0 Trojans, as we'll stay here and give you some other notes about this 10th meeting between the two schools. The first 6 meetings all involved in the playoffs. Coach Fox remembers those very well when we met Moore the first 3 times in the semifinals in 3 straight years, in 96, 97, and 98.
Yeah, those were big games. Remember specifically one game where we just had a hard time at halftime getting things going, and Coach Trimble and Coach Gross and Coach McCaleb had a conversation, said we're not going to put the ball in the air. We were not doing well putting the ball in the air, and I think they gave it to Luke Turner it was about a 16 or 18 play drive, and I think Luke got about 11 of those, a bunch of them in a row. Then he came over and got we didn't have a hyperbaric oxygen chamber back then, but he got everything he could. But, very physical Moore teams back in the day in those 90s. Some players that I know that you made note of as well. Maybe we can talk about later.
You bet. Here's the kickoff. Another pooch kick. Oh, he tried to catch it inbounds. And let's see if he touched it while his foot was in bounds. It was, and so they'll mark it at the 26-yard line. It's a break for the Trojans. There weren't too many tougher kids that I've ever seen wear a Jenks uniform than number 32, Luke Turner.
And he, especially his senior year, really rarely came off the ball. Didn't matter if he was running tailback position, fullback position that we were sometimes using back then, especially coming out of the backfield, catching passes, and then an inside linebacker as well. So Luke Turner definitely had that bulldog mentality.
And to show you how tough he is, after his college or after his high school days, has become a professional rugby player.
Big rugby career, yeah.
1st and 10 from the 26-yard line for the Moore Lions and Maverick Gardner. The Moore quarterback fakes the handoff, throws outside. Nice job by the defense to bottle it up, and look at the maroon shirts, making sure that Landis Green, a returning starter wide receiver, doesn't get any real estate.
And I think they're actually going to get a holding call out there on the edge, so it's going to back it up even more. But really textbook type of defense right there. You're fighting through the perimeter block. You're bringing the guy from the inside out to go to the ball carrier, and just not giving him anything around the perimeter, around the edge to get into momentum. So not only a great defensive execution there of assignment football, but one where we take advantage of a holding penalty and back up the Lions even farther towards their end zone.
You see kickoffs during the season brought to you by Westlake Ace Hardware and Jenks on 101st Place South. Open tonight till 8 and open tomorrow morning at 7:30. And with this game on Thursday, some of us will get to do some honeydews tomorrow. Handoff. I believe that's the running back, Coulter again. Ken Coulter, a junior.
Interesting call there on 1st and 20, But I guess they're feeling like the drop back game is not going well for them. Keep your eye on number 8, Luke McAnally, on that interior line. He's going to be lined up in some different positions, do some things to cause some havoc with this more offensive front.
Got Odom at one edge. And Orlando Williams at the other. He had a big game last week. Oh, a reverse. They fumble it, and the Trojans have it at the 10, or had it. Now it's inside the 5-yard line, and Orlando Williams has his first takeaway of the season.
Well, we were close to a scoop and score last week, and I know that it was talked about this week and trying to get one, and we got another that gets really close. Again, you see McAnally teed off there on that A gap. They're bringing the reverse around. He just fumbles the ball, and lots of Trojan shirts are jumping on that. Better to secure it, Rob, than try to scoop and miss it, right?
Easier said than done. That oblong pigskin can wobble in some funny ways here. That got the better of Luke McAnally. Thankfully, his pal Orlando Williams was right there, Johnny, on the spot to scoop it up in prime position to start this drive for the Trojan offense.
12th takeaway of the season. They were +5 in turnover ratio until last week when they turned it over 5 times. Here they turn it into the end zone, and KD has his first score of the night.
Bringing in that jumbo package, you had Tugwell in there. You had 2 H-backs with Odom And McAnally on the left side there, you see it just opens wide up for KD to go untouched into the end zone. Guy slanted underneath Kester, but he never had a chance to make a ball.
I think they were deciding whether to go for one or two, and of course they'll bring in plenty of time for McEwen to snap it to Jake Flowers and Owen Mahan to try the extra point. He's hit 29 in a row, make it 30 in a row, and the Trojans in the first 4 minutes and 4 seconds of the game have a 14-0 lead on Trojan TV.
Tonight on Bark Island, it's the ultimate adventure at the Woodland West Pet Resort. Newcomers enter the villa. Will they become best buds or playful rivals in doggy daycare? It's glam time. Pups dressed to impress with top-notch grooming. Who rocks the best makeover? Sweet dreams are made in our luxury suites. Owners can peek in live. It's party time. Our pups strut their stuff with fresh tricks to wow the crowd. Trusted, professional, and oh so fun. Join the pack. Woodland West Pet Resort.
Write these guys down. 82, 31, 36, 21, 26. So the Trojans will kick it off here. I believe that is Grant Cutter, soccer player, a sophomore. They've used he and McCord and others for the kickoff. Oh, that's a interesting play, going to lateral back. And that's where Moore will take over at about the 32-yard line.
Yeah, Rob, that looked like one of my tee shots. Tough to handle as it's bouncing around there.
That's one of those where you're just hoping it gets to the fairway, trying to get through that first cut past the ladies' tees.
That's my shot. That's my shot. But that was definitely intentional and does a nice job of making it hard for Lions to field that.
You know, guys, going back to the Trojan offense, I mean, it's becoming pretty perfunctory at this point. Just death, taxes, and KD scoring touchdowns early and often, right? When you give the Trojans a short field like that, a really short field, I mean, it's almost automatic for their offensive line and how effectively they can run the football.
And pressure, and down he goes at the 30-yard line.
Beautiful job right there by the guys up front. I don't know if we'll get a replay, but keep your eyes on Pangburn and McAnally, the games that they're playing. They're going to run a twist right here. So McAnally's going to go into Pangburn's gap. Pangburn's going to come wide, and then great job by Orlando falling off as the quarterback steps up. Great pressure, and again, great execution.
Yeah, Pangburn's the one who forced him to step up in the pocket, and then Orlando Williams there to finish it off. And that should go down as a sack for Orlando Williams, as it was a loss of one.
It will indeed. He had, I think that's his third straight game with a sack. Trojans have now outscored their opponents 143-44 in the first quarter this year.
And I will say the first quarter has been a good one for the Trojans. Wow. You know, one of the things they've talked about is how do we play in the second quarter. So obviously we got a long way to go tonight, but first quarter has been really good quick start for both sides of the ball.
And the third quarter. Sometimes the third quarter hasn't been as kind as or as good a start as Coach Gaylor would want out of the locker room. Gardner going long distance, got a man open, good catch. Just past Hayden Stevens, and on the board is Landis Green, and that'll be a 74-yard strike.
Yeah, Coach is going to be a little frustrated on giving up that big play right here, but Stevens goes for the ball just outside of his grasp a little bit. He's beat on position right there if he's not getting any help from anybody else on the field, and so he goes and plays the ball just out of reach of his outstretched hand there, and then Lions cruise into the end zone after the catch.
Good throw by Gardner. Here is Gray Evans, their punter and place kicker. Extra point on the way, and good. So 6:42 to go here in the first quarter, and it's now 14-7. A lot of games, over 50 games moved from tomorrow night to tonight.
That was a spectacular ball by Maverick Gardner, guys. Give credit where credit's due. He was able to step up into that pocket, put his full weight behind that throw, and, man, he spun a beautiful ball downfield to land a screen. So, I don't know. I think if your name is Maverick and you're playing football, you are destined to be a quarterback,
No
right?
kidding.
I think it's decided for you at that point what position you're going to play. And that was a really, really impressive ball and a nice response there for Moore after a sack on first down and then a penalty. Had him backed up at 2nd and 16. So like you said, Coach Fox, Coach Gaylor not going to be thrilled with that down and distance, giving up that kind of play. And it speaks to just a few of the explosive plays that we've seen teams be able to stack on this Trojan defense this year. Going back to last week against Deer Creek, it was the first play from scrimmage for the Antlers where they went double pass over the top. I think it ended up going for about 90 yards. So we have seen some teams being able to get those chunk plays.
Yeah, Gardner played wide receiver for them last year, and they knew he's athletic. And what we haven't seen him do tonight, which we anticipate he will do, is pull the ball down and make something happen with his feet. Because of his playmaking abilities. But right there you saw the benefit of his arm strength, getting that ball on that post pattern out there just where his guy can go make a play on it and nobody else can. And so the Lions get right back in this thing.
Trojan football brought to you by Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma. It is Man's Senior Night. They were honored before the game. KD is going to camp under this right at the goal line. We'll say the 1 yard line. He returned a kickoff for a touchdown his freshman year at Broken Arrow, and here he travels out near the 30-yard line.
He's really enjoying a lot of the receiving of the punt and the kick collection duties. Had a good punt return last week, and I don't know if people caught it there, but he was actually in on the extra point block that last time, and that's something we haven't seen from him yet. So look for him to be in there a little bit more on the block situations for extra points or PATs.
He's going to go out as a receiver here, and Carricker will be as a running back. But somebody asked me, we put social media, I think we put on there as a handoff to KD, up the middle, pushed back after a gain of a couple, that he became the all-time all-purpose yardage leader, passing Trayvon Barree last week. And somebody asked me, well, what is the difference between total yards, all-purpose yards, scrimmage yards? All-purpose yards is running the ball, receiving the ball, and returns.
Yep.
Whether it's interception return or punt return or kickoff return, and KD has done quite a bit of that. Scrimmage yards is just what you gain from scrimmage, running or receiving. Total yards is usually the quarterback's offensive numbers, his passing and running together.
Well, unfortunately, that was a huge missed opportunity there, guys, because Jalen Cato had nobody near him on this near sideline, and if Kazar could have hit him and he could have caught that ball in bounds, he could have stopped, turned, looked, and seen no one within 20 yards and taken that one clear up the sideline. So tough break that ball was just a little bit overthrown.
So Kazar gets demoted after that play to wide receiver. And here is a throw caught at the 36-yard line. That is Kazar. I beg your pardon. I thought Kazar had moved out to receiver.
They were putting Cato in motion, moving him around a little bit. You'll continue to see some of that. And again, Caleb Dillard back in the lineup tonight. Malachi out of the lineup. He had some big catches last week at receiver, but right there you see again, Landon can get that ball outside the numbers towards the sideline in a hurry for sure.
Gain of 6, so it's 4th and 2.
Going for it on their side of the 40.
Yes, leading 14-7. Here we go. KD down the middle. He's got the first down. Gain of 4. Needed 2.
Rob, it really looked like as soon as that ball was snapped, he was going to get it because there was such a big push across the front.
Yeah, toward that left side of the line just shows you extreme confidence that this coaching staff has in that Trojan front.
Here's Caleb Dillard down the sideline. Look at that move. He's off to the races inside the 30-yard line. That'll be good for 30 yards.
just some textbook things. I know they're going to get back on the ball in a hurry, but he accelerates out of the catch as he tight ropes up the sidelines. And then as he's going downfield, you see him cutting back to the inside shoulder of that defensive back, picking up extra yardage each time he does it.
A rare miss a moment ago by Kazar, as you mentioned, missing Cato at the sideline. That's a very rare miss for Kazar, who has 71% completion rate this year.
You see here, here's where he's going to cut back against the grain and cut back to the inside shoulder of the DB who's pursuing him, getting extra yards. So nice job by the Trojan TV crew as well, getting that replay for us.
Loss of 4 on the last play, 2nd down and 14 from the Moore 36. Here's Cato again, gets a block or 2 outside and gets some yardage back inside the 25-yard line.
Like what Jalen did right there is he caught the ball. He wasn't looking to break it to the end zone necessarily. He's just trying to get past the line of scrimmage. He gets out on that perimeter and gets a lot of those yards back that they lost on first down.
So 3rd down and about 5. Ooh, KD stood up and down for no gain.
So interesting. This is going to be more 4th and middle yardage. They went for it on 4th and 2 on their own side. Now it's more like 4th and, I don't know, is that 5, Don?
Yes.
4th and 5 down here, not bringing on Mahan, relying on those big linemen, bringing in another H-back.
Kazar has Cato split to the right and Cade Klein to the left. Now McAnally's out in motion, as is KD. Oh, and Mobley moves at right tackle. So we'll make it 4th and 10.
Interesting to see what they do here. They had Braxton in there as a tight H-back and then split him out. So it'll be interesting to see if they bring another wide receiver in or keep the same personnel grouping.
Mobley was a victim of physics there. You could see him starting to lean a little bit, and once you get that weight going backwards, it's hard to pull, hard to stop.
All 270 pounds of him as a 9th grader. They'll go for it on 4th and 10. Katie, the sidecar on the right, stays in the block. Kazar looks deep, fires. What a catch by Dillard on a strong throw for a first down from Kazar near the 15-yard line.
All times of all kind of time there for Kazar to look across the field, and he sees Dillard on a middle route coming across the field. Beautiful job by the offensive line to give him all that time.
KD head on. Yards after contact, something that is so impressive with this all-state running back. He is the Tulsa World leader for Player of the Year. He had 445 yards on 44 carries, 8 touchdowns. Jenks yardage record and touchdown record the last time he played on this field 2 weeks ago against Mustang.
I didn't see the flag until they started with the play action. May have been a procedure call, Rob.
Oh, illegal participation on Moore. So that'll make it a 1st and 5 at the 11. Or, yes, actually they'll mark it at the 9.
Is that the 4?
Or the 4? Yeah, the 4, thank you. And into the end zone, catch for Caleb Dillard. What a bullet that was, and Caleb Dillard's having an all-state season, his 41st catch of the year, and his 9th touchdown.
Showing the play action here to KD as he goes to the right, and Dillard does an excellent job of getting inside position on that slant. And, of course, Kazar is putting it there so that he's the only one that has a chance to make a play on the ball. Great goal line route.
So Kazar has run for a touchdown. He's thrown for a touchdown, and Butcher's in at quarterback, and he throws to Caleb for 2 points.
I think that's Braxton, isn't it?
Or is it Braxton Daniel? Yeah. Thank you.
Some more razzle-dazzle. We can't even keep track of all the guys are getting in the end zone, what they're doing.
Exactly.
Good special teams call right there.
Yeah, guys, they've gone for that two-point conversion several times over the last few weeks with Q Butcher in at quarterback. It hasn't gone really well from an execution standpoint for the Trojans on that play, but you get the job done there. Really nicely done by Butcher to sell it and then hit Braxton Daniel. And how about Caleb Dillard and the impact that he's had on this game in just the first quarter? A couple of big plays on offense and then finishing it off with that touchdown reception. Not bad coverage by Elijah Davis there for Moore either, but just the ball placed perfectly and a great catch by Caleb Dillard. They are happy to have him back at 100% after missing last week and really just wasn't himself, just was pretty limited in that win over Mustang.
Trojans are throwing the ball extremely well. I've got him for 7 of 8 for Gazar with a touchdown. And Caleb Dillard, what a year he is having.
And that ball's not an easy ball to catch, Rob, because that's coming hard at you, close to you. So he does a nice job of handling something hot.
This is a hot ball picked up at the 25-yard line and up 5 yards to the 30. And that's where the Moore Lions will take over with 3:10 remaining here in the first quarter, and a 22-7 Jenks Trojan lead.
I think that's just experience. I think that's chemistry with your quarterback. I think that's practice reps of that play, and Landon Kazar knowing exactly where that ball needs to be, and Caleb Dillard knowing exactly where it's probably going to go. And that's some practice. After practice, probably you're firing up the jugs machine, right? And you're having that thing just hum it at you from a short distance and getting those hands ready.
1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. Running play, and Coulter has nowhere to go. So that'll be a loss of a yard, and that defensive line led by Carson Odom right there. Or, yes, Odom,
Yeah.
32.
Yeah, Carson Odom, 32 for tonight.
Pierce Brand was one of the first ones to meet him there, too. Really stood him up and allowed the rest of the Trojans to get there.
Odom will go to the left side as Pierce Brand is directing traffic as the middle linebacker. 2nd and 11. Catch made, and he gets by the defender. This is Green. Look at that speed. Wow. Caught from behind at the 20-yard line and saving the touchdown, I believe, was Carricker.
Caleb Dillard wishes he had that back. Just misplays the tackle there. And again, this is what the coaching staff have said. They've got some very, very explosive guys on the offensive side of the ball that if you give them some daylight, you give them some opportunity, they're off to the races.
Gain of 52 on the play. Nice run down to the 10-yard line.
Quarterback run all the way. He's given the chance for some power blockers to get in front of him. That's the first time we've seen him in that situation with that particular scheme. Getting some guys in front of him, but they know that they're going to have to definitely keep an eye on the quarterback tonight because of his playmaking ability with his feet.
Run down some other scores for you as we move along here. This is going nowhere on 2nd and 2.
Yeah, Coulter just meets the entire left side of that defensive front right there. Pierce Brand among them, as well as Pangburn, McAnally, Odom, Orlando doing a nice job with the defensive front, giving those linebackers a chance to run.
Clock winding down this first quarter. The Trojans have led throughout 22-7. Moore is threatening, though, on 3rd and 1. And he falls forward for the first down. That's Coulter. Broken Arrow in the first quarter at home, leading Union 8-7. Enid at Edmond North, no score first quarter. Yukon leading at Norman North 7-0. Bigsby at Mustang first quarter, no score. Norman at Deer Creek just starting. Owasso at Edmond Santa Fe just starting. So 1st and goal from the 7. And Gardner into the end zone. Touchdown, Moore Lions.
Just missed setting the edge there on that right side of the offensive front for Moore. and Gardner's able to go in there. They get some down blocks. Nobody's on the perimeter to force him back into pursuit, and so he gets in the end zone fairly well untouched.
Here's the extra point coming from Evans. And it is good. With 38 seconds to go before the end of the first quarter, it is 22-14 in favor of the Trojans on Jenks Trojan TV.
Let me tell you about this new pretzel cheddar club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. When I add the Dijon mustard to this pretzel bun, it takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Make every occasion unforgettable with Waldo's Chicken and Beer. From corporate lunches to special events, enjoy our irresistible dishes, including breakfast. Waldo's full-service catering has you covered. We'll handle the food so you can focus on what matters. Waldo's Chicken and Beer, catering made easy.
Waldo's Chicken, proud sponsor of Trojan TV. Waldo'sChicken.com for all your catering needs in Owasso, Broken Arrow, and 71st and Yale. Ace Hardware gets you ready for the kickoff. It's a high end-over-end kick taken at the 25-yard line. This is Cato, and he finally gets ushered out at the 37.
Took a lot of them to get him out, but they're also trying to get in there and strip the ball. Cato does a good job of heading up and getting as much as he can after the reception. You know, keep an eye, Rob, on Cato and Dillard. They're a couple of guys that are obviously a big part of this offense unit, and then having to play a lot on defense tonight.
Yeah, used to seeing that with Caleb Dillard when he's healthy. One of those guys who rarely comes off the field. Little bit of a change-up, though, for Cato, who hasn't had as many snaps on the defensive side of the ball.
Katie down the middle. And that'll be marked at the 43-yard line. And a gain of 6 or 5.
And that's what KD feels like he needs to get his rhythm going. Just some runs of 4, 5, 6, 8 before he busts one.
Nice throw on the comeback to Caleb Dillard.
Caleb looks like, I'm sorry, Don, I was just saying, he kind of looks like he's getting up limping a little bit. And that's going to take care of the first half, I believe. First quarter, excuse me.
Gain of 9, so after that, it's a new set of downs for the Trojans, brought to you by the 10 District, and Jenks Trojan Football, brought to you by the 10 District in downtown Jenks. We're back in a moment. Thanks for joining us on a Thursday night. The game's been moved on Trojan TV.
When pain slows you down, even the simplest movements can feel out of reach. But you don't have to go through it alone. At Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma, we provide the results you want and the care you deserve. From diagnosis to recovery, our specialists offer advanced treatment and personalized care so you can heal and get back to what moves you. Because life keeps moving, and we'll keep you moving with it every step of the way. Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma. Heal, recover, advance.
It's more than just a rivalry. It's tradition. It's pride. It's Jenks versus Bixby. Win or lose, we know this game just means more. At Mabry Bank, we stand behind both Trojans and Spartans and the families and businesses that make each of these communities great. No matter what colors you wear tonight, we are proud to be your hometown bank. Mabry Bank. You matter at Mabry.
When you've got to spend some time away, there's no better place for your best friend to stay than Woodland West Pet Resort. With 17,000 square feet of fun, you can both take a no-guilt vacation, relax, both of you, pick up a new skill, chow down on some well-deserved vacation food, make new friends, have a spa day, and finally, come home to your best friend. Woodland West Pet Resort. sit, stay, and play. Located next to Woodland West Animal Hospital off Highway 75 in the Jenks exit.
Mason Prince producing on the Trojan TV side. Thank you for joining us. Brought to you by Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma. Find out more information on them at aook.com. Don King, along with Dr. Eric Fox, former Jenks assistant coach and now assistant principal at Jenks, former assistant principal of the year in the state of Oklahoma a few years back, and Rob Labor on the sidelines. Here's a pass on first down, incomplete.
And that's just one, again, that Landon and Caleb weren't in sync on, because Caleb was continuing to run his route downfield, and Landon had a hot read, trying to get the ball out to him quickly in space. And so they'll have to regroup on that and make sure they talk that over for the next time.
2nd and 10 at the Moore 48-yard line. Katie spinning forward for about 3 yards. Sometimes, as a receivers coach, sometimes plays are called and then changed at the line of scrimmage, and then there's just a innate ability to know what the other guy is doing. Is there a quarterback and receiver that comes to mind over the years that kind of knew each other better than others?
Well, I'll tell you, Matt McCoy and Ben Bowling, of course, I'm kind of prejudiced, but those guys can improvise on the fly pretty well.
Here's a screen to KD, who's done well in this department, and that screen will work for about 9 yards and a first down.
There'd be times that, you'd think you're getting man coverage and they break into a zone and Matt could just kind of sit it down, or vice versa. He could stretch something from a man route, and Ben was really good at seeing that ahead of time. But these guys are doing a nice job right now as KD getting out in space.
First down from the 37, a flag down, however.
Are they saying procedure, Rob?
Oh, another substitution, guys.
And another flag came down in the secondary away from the tackle.
And that one got thrown when the only people were around were Moore and less. KD put a stiff arm on a guy that knocked his helmet off. I haven't seen that very many times in my life, but unless there were some words that were being shared back towards the Lions defensive unit, I would think that would be an unsportsmanlike dead ball against Moore. Just not sure. We'll have to see how they sort this out.
KD at this point, 10 carries for 36 yards.
But the one in the secondary came late, as most of the Trojans were headed back to their line. So I would have to think it was something that was said in the presence of the official in the back, and the Lions were the only ones around there. Yeah, there were two flags. I don't know why they didn't give what the other call was. Unless the back judge just counted 12 guys, which the side judge had already counted.
Cameron Bennett is the first-year head coach at Moore. He wants an explanation of what's going on. He is their 6th head coach in 18 seasons for this Moore program. Tommy Knowles was the most successful coach over the past 30 years, if you will. Took them to those 3 straight semifinals against Jenks in 96, 97, and 98. Tommy Knowles retired in 07. So they're going to mark the penalty off. Now that's interesting because Katie got 13 down to the 24.
But illegal substitution is before. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
While we're sorting this out, I'll give you some more lore here.
Please.
1984 went to the state championship game, lost to Booker T, 14-10. 1958 went to the state championship game, Class B championship game. They lost that one.
Did not know that.
My dad was playing fullback for that team.
Really?
Yeah.
Very cool. 1st and 10 at the Moore 22-yard line. Oh, been looking for this all year. Luke McAnally, who dropped one in the end zone last week or 2 weeks ago, has his first varsity touchdown out of the tight end on the pass from KD.
And they're going to get a celebration penalty, but when you get a touchdown pass out of the Wildcat pop pass from KD and you're getting McAnally's the one that's catching it, Rob, they're having a good time celebrating that.
I said it before, I'll say it again. You should be allowed to dance. You should be allowed to celebrate your touchdowns. That's an unbelievable play from Katie Jones. There is nothing this guy cannot do on a football field. And boy, we saw it on that first touchdown, right, where he just acted like a decoy. And again, all eyes on Caden Jones. As soon as he gets the ball, that entire defense focuses on him, thinking they got to stop him, they got to shut down that running play. And then Luke McAnally, who at his size cannot be a sneaky individual. It's physically impossible for him to be sneaky, but he sneaks behind the more defense, and that's a fun one for the Trojans.
You bet.
Here's another stat. Every single pass that KD has ever thrown has been a touchdown pass. I mean,
exactly.
Let's just add that one, huh?
He threw one his sophomore year against Broken Arrow. On that same end of the field, here's the extra point by Mahan is good early here in the second quarter. And the Trojans lead it now by 2 touchdowns. That's a Matt McCoy insurance touchdown. 29-14 is your score after the 22-yard pass play from KD to Luke McAnally. There's Landis Morris, special teams coach, former Jenks Trojan.
Here's the replay we're going to see. Well, here's going to be out of the Wildcat. You're going to see him step up and then kind of jump, and not the most beautiful, but it gets there, and that's what you want to do, Rob. You don't want to overthrow it. You don't want to zing it. You just want to make sure that he can get under it, and McAnally makes the catch and gets into the end zone. Nice call, nice execution.
That goes back to the first quarter. At the end of the first quarter, they started their own 37-yard line, so a 63-yard drive in 7 plays. That update brought to you by Tulsa ER and Hospital.
Also, quick explanation, guys. The penalty on that drive was illegal participation, not illegal substitution. Illegal substitution, they tell me, would have been a 5-yard penalty, but because he participated in the play, it's a 15-yard penalty.
Okay. So they must have had too many men on the field. They must have had 12 men on the field participate on that one play.
You know, we're lifelong learners here at Jenks.
Yes. Always learning.
Always educating.
Mm-hmm. Never taking a day off. Here are the Moore Lions with good field position, 1st and 10 up at the 43-yard line. Speaking of big days at Jenks, one coming up next Wednesday, the 29th.
Yeah, Prep U Senior Conference, excited for that. We'll take all of our seniors to OSU Tulsa, talk about careers and next steps for them, so excited about that.
Running play for Gardner. Orlando Williams helps Klein bring him down after a gain of 2, maybe 3. They'll say 3 on the Moore quarterback. 2nd and 7 coming up. By the way, the the Thunder are leading late in the second quarter, 47-41 at Indiana.
Quarterback looks like he's not glad that he kept that ball there, Rob.
No, I think Orlando Williams made sure of that.
Cade Klein in on the tackle as well. Cade Klein's been in at least 10 tackles in the last 4 games. Gardner flares it out for Coulter, and he gets head on, and what an open field tackle by Carricker, another guy that's been in on a lot of tackles. In fact, he's the leading tackler on the team, coming in 16 tackles ahead of Cade Klein, who's in second.
Nice angle right there, getting out. He sees the flare pass, the swing pass, making sure he's out there. But not only does he deliver a blow, gets his helmet across to the outside of his chest, then makes sure he wraps up, comes down to the legs, and secures the tackle. Textbook execution right there. Good technique by Carricker.
Look at, they're right. 3rd and 9, that was a loss of 2 on the play. Here's another pass. They'll go this way. Different receiver. This will be Connor Christian, and he'll be way short of the first down.
Lots of guys there. Odom there. Castleberry there. I think you had Klein coming up. Just keeping them well short of the sticks, but they're going to go for it on 4th down.
Well, that was Ozias Adams, their normal starting running back.
He's in the game.
Yeah, gain of 2, so it's 4th down and 7. More going for it at their own 47.
Maybe a quick kick.
And Gardner obliges Coach Fox. And this will take a nice roll inside the 10-yard line, down to about the 8.
Good coaching strategy there by the Lions. Keep your offensive unit on the field. And then Gardner, we talked about what an athlete he is. Doesn't have to kick it deep, just has to kick it, get a little roll, and get it down close to that Trojan end zone. And good call. I like the call for the Lions here, trying to pin the Trojans deep.
How about a 92-yard pass for a score?
I've seen that.
Yes, you have.
I think I saw one last week going the other direction.
The wrong team. You did indeed. The longest pass completion in Jenks history is 94 yards from Andrew Brewer to Jesse Meyer. 21 years ago. Well, can the Trojans do it? I think he's going to. Clark Carricker, 92 yards. Thank you very much. Touchdown, Trojans.
Rob, what is so impressive about that, not only the execution, but even when Carricker is at midfield, you think that the DB is going to make up some ground on him, and he just turns on the jets and pulls away. We know Carricker is a smart player. We know he's a tough player. See right there what kind of speed he has. Great job getting the end zone.
Unbelievable run by Clark Carricker. Found another gear there, like you said. One of the more impressive plays that we've seen this season. Maybe the most impressive thing, though, is that your boy Don King just called that 92-yard touchdown. Don King dials it up. He'll be coming to a roulette table near you after the game. My goodness, Don King. Stay hot.
I think the way they did that, I think they can characterize that as a forward pass. The little flip, I don't know if you can get it on the replay, but I think that was actually considered a forward pass.
I think it was.
Inside flip right there.
Yes. So 92 yards, nevertheless, has the Trojans out 36-14. As you see, 8:25 left here before halftime. So I mentioned the Thunder are going to lead, apparently, Indiana at halftime. I'm still recovering from that double overtime game the other night.
Well, Don, I know you got to be there and see the banner hoisted up, but I don't know that all of our Trojan family knows what contribution and what part you play with the organization. I hope you'll have a chance to talk about that and their playoff run at some point.
Okay. Very little is what I very little.
No, you call some games and got to be there for the championship, and so working with the developmental team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got me a free T-shirt anyway. I'll say that.
I did.
You got me a free T-shirt, so I'm a big Don King fan.
Got you and Rob and Mason some Thunder playoff T-shirts. Here's the kickoff. Taken at the 25-yard line. And Nathan Hendricks still on his feet. Ooh, until he is plowed down at about the 35.
I'll take a replica ring and a Shea autograph when you have a chance, Don. Thanks so much.
Are those rings sweet or what?
Oh, the ring inside the ring, too. How about that?
Never seen anything like it. For those that haven't seen it, the top of the ring comes off, and there's another ring in it with all the players' numbers around it, and whatever player number that he owns, his number is enlarged. Very impressive if you haven't seen them on social media. 36-yard line for the Moore Lions, and that's a drop for Hendricks.
Yeah, just tough right now for Moore to get any momentum going back. You know, they cut the lead to a score, a touchdown, and then Trojan offense has definitely answered, and now just really rattled and disrupted some things that are happening. Of course, the quarterback took a read on that last drive and took quite a shot. I still think he's feeling it a little bit.
Wasso at Santa Fe. That must be tomorrow night. Broken Arrow is at home tonight, leading Union still 8-7, second quarter. 2nd and 10. Nowhere to go, and down he goes in the backfield. Trojans with another tackle for a loss. Thanks to Orlando Williams.
Orlando blows past his blocker, gets in the backfield, and then secures the tackle, not letting the running back sidestep him. Great job right there.
Don, that Santa Fe Owasso game is actually tonight. They just haven't been able to start yet. There's a line of thunderstorms down there. They're in a weather delay and have not been able to kick off as of yet.
Thank you very much. 3rd and 13 from the 33. Gardner, deep drop, chased out by Williams, has to run, and gets by Whalen, but gets up to about the 41-yard line, and that's about all he can do.
Orlando came inside on a slant, on a stunt there to the wide side of the field, chased Gardner out of the pocket. He was still going to try to throw around the line of scrimmage, took the ball down, and got a few yards. But again, it's hard running right now, and he's really taking some punishment.
Here's the punt by Gardner, and rolls out at the 30-yard line. 29-yard kick against the wind. So the Trojans, who lead it 36-14, get the ball back. They have scored every time they've had the ball. Midway here in the second quarter. Bigsby at Mustang. That also maybe has not started. So none of the scores in the Oklahoma City area. Look at the time. Yeah, then they probably none of them have apparently started yet.
They've got a line of severe thunderstorms. They aren't going to head this way. We'll hope we can get this thing over with before they get here.
KD looking for an open lane, find some traffic, and a gain of 3.
I don't know if it's been talked about enough, guys, just the job that Tyler Chronister has done this year with this offense and the ease with which they're putting up points. And, you know, tonight is an awesome example of just the variety that he's got in the bag with 5 touchdowns from 5 different players.
Good point. KD takes a loss on that play, or does he? Well, they're going to give him forward progress and say he gained a yard, so it's 3rd down and 6 at the 36-yard line. Now, Kazar started this with a TD run of his own, then KD with a touchdown run, and then a pass to Caleb Dillard. And then here in the second quarter, a KD Jones pass to Luke McAnally, and then a 92-yard pass play, we're calling it, to Clark Carricker. Kazar. What a pass this is to Cato. Nice hands at the 40. Trying to break free. Looking for his first touchdown of the year. Down to the 16-yard line.
You know, Rob, Cato is not a huge target. They're going to get up on the ball quickly. Cato's not a huge target, but he's got secure hands right there. He gets the ball high, then he pulls away, and what he does great at the end of the run is he's able to make sure that they don't strip the ball, and looks like we may have a hold to bring this back, unfortunately. After all that work that Jalen put in. And again, ball security to make sure he held on to it when Moore was trying to strip the ball at the end of the run.
Cato comes into this game as the 4th leading receiver on the team. Oh, it's going to be declined. It's a defensive hold against Moore. Oh, and he says touchdown. Okay, we'll take that.
They're just handing them out now. The Trojans are scoring so easy. They're like, you know what? This is a formality. You want to go ahead and just put 6 on the board? We'll take it.
Yeah, interesting. That must have been well, they called a personal foul. I didn't see if they hit Landon late. They didn't call roughing the passer. I'm not sure what they got.
I think what you mentioned how Cato finished that play. There we go. Half the distance to the goal, first down. I thought the route was really well run by Jalen Cato there, Coach Fox. Just driving forward, dipping to the outside, kind of faking like he's going to break that one off to the sidelines, and then quickly cutting inside, was able to shed his defender that way, create that separation. Good protection up front to allow that route to develop, and then Kazar, as we've become accustomed to all season long, with a beautiful ball over the middle.
So it moves it inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. KD out. This is Luke McAnally with Riley Kester. Kester gets a touchdown. It's a party going on at ATS.
Wildcat with Riley Kester. That is something I did not have on my bingo card, Rob, but I'll tell you, Riley was giving that away in the pregame warm-up. He was taking snaps and running to the left, so I should have figured that out, I guess. But good job for Riley getting in the end zone there.
Hey, I don't want to tackle that. Do you? No. In front of that, I do not want to be on the business end of Riley Kester running at me, and I don't think the Lions want any part of that either. Make it 6 touchdowns, guys, by 6 different players now, and Tyler Cronister deep in his bag of tricks.
Extra point by Mahan is good midway through this second period, and the Trojans now have tacked on some more, and it swells to a 43-14 lead. You mentioned 6 different Trojans scoring. The record is 9 in a game in which the Trojans won. They put 70 on the board at 9 different Trojans in that particular game. Here's some other scores quickly in 6A Division II. Sand Springs leading at Muskogee in the second quarter, 21-13. Choctaws playing at home, having no trouble with Grant, 42-0. Ponca City's leading at Bartlesville, who won their first game last week, but the Wildcats leading the Bruins 9-7. Stillwater hasn't started against Putnam City, and that's the way it looks in 6A1. In 5A, Booker T has a big game at McAllister. That's at the half, tied at 7. Del City's leading at Tahlequah 14-7. Claremore having no trouble with Memorial 35-0. Shawnee's at home leading Edison 28-0. And Jaquez Washington, who was at one time a defensive coordinator for the Trojan but never coached in a game. He was employed here for a couple of months before he took the Midwest City job. They're looking for their second win of the year and leading Classen 13-0. Other games are tomorrow night, including Bishop Kelly at East Central, Rogers at Hale.
So, Rob, the next thing we better watch for is Riley Kester's running the Wildcat is the pop pass from Riley Kester.
It's one thing for a big man to score. You know, you see it a lot from the 1-yard line, the 2-yard line, something like that. I mean, he rumbled from a pretty good distance, and I don't think he got touched, guys.
No, as you say, that's a business decision right there. Right between the legs of Hendricks. This will go all the way back. You better field it at the 3-yard line, and he fumbles it out of bounds.
There's going to be some activity called down there. There was just a lot of bodies flying around. First, the Lions were reluctant to field it, but they realized that there were a lot of maroon jerseys coming at them fast. So I don't know if it's going to be a personal foul, dead ball penalty against the Trojans or against the Lions, because there were a lot of bodies on the ground over there.
Yeah, Braxton Talent, senior linebacker, was on his man.
Personal foul, late hit on the kicking team, 15-yard penalty, first down.
It's a little bit unfortunate you have them pinned down there deep, and then you're going to give them a 15-yard penalty.
Mm-hmm.
But interesting what Coach Morris is doing with the special teams tonight, making it really hard on Moore to set up any kind of return.
Trojans were to honor the 2000 state championship team, who won a state title over Union 25 years ago, but that has been moved to 2 weeks from tonight, Thursday night, November 6th, in the regular season home finale against Edmond North. Good hole opening up, but only good for 2 yards. Jenks defense closes in a hurry with Whalen number 31 and Odom number 32 on the tackle.
Saw former assistant coach John Timmons here tonight.
Nice.
He's also head soccer coach for a number of years, so hoping he can come back for that reunion as well. Coach Timmons not only coached state championship football teams here, but also head coach for some state championship soccer titles as well.
Certainly a candidate for that Jenks Athletic Hall of Fame that will be announced first class next fall. Back to pass is Gardner, and he is swallowed up, and a flag goes down as well.
Pangburn, Williams, Odom, everybody was back there, and I think you're going to get a holding call as well.
Loading, offense, 10 yards from the previous spot.
Quarterback kind of bobbles the snap as he gets it, and he's looking downfield, and he's got the entire defensive front just sitting in his lap.
Well, everybody could get a little bit of credit on that sack. A loss of 2, so they will take the play, make it third, or loss of 4, make it 3rd down and 12, and mark it at the 21-yard line. Actually, it is 3rd and 10.
A little bit of confusion now because they need to walk off the penalty yardage, so it should be a little bit farther back. There we go.
Okay, so they...
Well, they actually took it from the spot because Jenks declined the penalty, so they take the sack, and instead of repeating 2nd down, we got 3rd and long now.
Okay. Third down and 13 from the 18-yard line. Oh, they set up the screen and set it up nicely to this guy's dangerous Adams. They tried to strip the ball away from him. He hangs on at the 26-yard line, a gain of 8, and he'll bring up 4th down.
Interesting chess match right there. Coach Gaylor going for the wholesale blitz. Lions expecting the blitz, go for the screen, able to pick up some yards, but Caleb Dillard there doing a good job of fighting through trash to make sure he secures the tackle there to keep him short.
Garner kicks it away, line drive kick. Taken by KD for about 4 yards. And Jenks will take over, 3:43 to go first half, leading 43-14, and they'll have it in good field shape and in good shape at the 46-yard line.
And the Trojans will get the ball to start the second half as well. So gain an extra possession. Sure would like still scored every time we've had the ball, right?
Right.
So we'd like to keep that streak going right here.
That BA Union game we're going to keep an eye on. That is a big game, has implications on the playoffs. The winner of that game takes over 2nd place, the loser 3rd place, and the loser of that game will very likely be here for the 2nd round of the playoffs. And Union right now behind BA 15-7 in the 2nd quarter. Kazar, late handoff to KD, turns the corner, hurdles the player, and gets to the 45-yard line. That'll be good for 9.
Rob, I don't know if enough people have talked about his stiff arm. Again, he combines the stiff arm with the hurdle there. He's got one of the best around.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can confirm that all the tools are there.
Kazar has had a nice first half. He's got Braxton Daniel wide open. Braxton likes to score, and he's in for a touchdown. That is his 4th touchdown on 7 catches this season.
Beautiful play, good protection up front. Fake the ball to KD. KD stays and blocks and gives Landon some time. He steps to his left a little bit, and just beautiful touch there, Rob, to just lobbing it out there. Don't put too much heat on it. Don't put too much pepper on it. Just get it out there in front of Braxton, let him do the rest.
Yeah, I mean, we know that Landon Kazar is capable of some frozen ropes like we've seen to Caleb Dillard and those passes out to the boundary. He can put some zip on that ball, but also showing off the touch there. Just the perfect amount of air under the ball, letting Braxton Daniel not even having to break stride, just running right underneath it and running straight to the goal line. We're keeping track, guys. 7 touchdowns. That's 7 different players. I don't know. Don must be off his game. He didn't predict that one. So
no, I did not.
Lock it up, Don.
50-14 in favor of the Trojans, and that's 2 plays. 2-play drive that goes 54 yards. Trojan football brought to you by Matt McCoy Insurance at 81st and 129th East Avenue. For an appointment, call 918-615-6634, and also by Waldo's Chicken, as I mentioned, in BA and Owasso, and now at 71st and Yale. Proud supporter of area university and high school athletics, including the Trojans. This is the 10th meeting. The Trojans have beaten Moore 9 times. Out of 9, the first 6 meetings were the playoffs. We mentioned the 96, 97, and 98 semifinals. They also met in 2017, 2019, and 2020. I believe that was a semifinal game. And then the 2 regular season games starting in 22, we went to Moore and fought for our lives, 49-41, when Denver Wolf threw for a record 501 yards in that game against the Trojans. And then last year won 31-6. And a flag goes down, or did I see a flag?
Yeah.
Down at the 35-yard line.
I would think that would be a hold from where that was thrown, but we'll have to see what they talk about here. So the Lions would have pretty good field position if the penalty doesn't negate that. We'll just have to see.
By the way, while they're marking this off and talking about it, Addie Gaylor was our homecoming queen 2 weeks ago.
Holding on return tape. This way, first down.
So a hold against the Trojans. Well, he pointed the Trojans, but I think he meant more. Yeah.
No touchdown on this penalty, though, Rob.
That would be just another way for the for the Trojan offense to score. I think they found pretty much all of them available so far tonight.
First down at the 25-yard line. Maverick Gardner fakes the handoff. The ball is thrown and batted in the air and intercepted and down to a 15-yard line. And it is Caleb Dillard with his 3rd pick of the season.
Lions have an injured player down there. Kind of got caught awkwardly under that pile as Dillard was trying to head to the end zone. But I didn't see who tipped it. Maybe we'll see on the. I just missed the replay.
I was thinking
there.
It was either Williams. It was off the edge. I thought it was Orlando Williams.
I think it might have been Carricker, guys.
Okay, Carricker.
I think it might have been Carricker coming off the edge, getting his big paw up there and putting that one way up into the air. When the ball has that much hang time on it after it's tipped, you can almost bet that it is going to be picked off. And Caleb Dillard, with his quickness, always alert, always ready. And another short field here coming up for the Trojans. They've already got half 100 before halftime.
Speaking of last week, or as I mentioned 2 weeks ago, homecoming for Addie Gaylor, and a big night for the Gaylor family. It was also a big night for the Sharp family. I did not realize this, but Mary and Mark Sharp's granddaughter, Riley, was the senior attendant with Addie, and of course, Mary Sharp, who was a longtime photographer for the Trojans, was the 1973 homecoming queen here at Jenks.
Yeah, and now I'm going to get in trouble from the Sharp family, but Mrs. Sharp, the matriarch of the
Fern Sharp,
thank you. She was here.
She was here
to help escort, and that was quite a deal.
Yeah,
the Sharp Center, obviously, named after Robert Sharp, and all that family has meant to this, not only this program, but this district and this community. But great to see Fern out there escorting her granddaughter in homecoming festivities.
Low snap for Gazar. He's going up top to KD. Look at him. I mean, he was nowhere to go at the 5, and he gets 3 extra to the 2-yard line.
Almost thought he was going to reach out there and try to extend the ball, but wisely kept ball security there, Rob. Thought he might try to just stretch it out there, get close to that pylon.
It'll be interesting to see what they dial up here. So many options.
They're bringing in
first and goal from the 2.
Bringing in Jake Flowers as a tight end, H-back. Cato hasn't scored a touchdown yet this year. Let's see if they go with him. He's at the left of the line of scrimmage. They shift Flowers and Daniel to the left. Nope, KD power left. Spins in. Touchdown, Trojans. His second score of the night.
Just a lot of push up front right there, and KD gets in the end zone. He does take some hits, but he spins off, and that's the one to Dillard a little bit earlier. But KD even able to spin and stay on his feet, and toss the ball to the official, head back to the sideline like he's done it before.
KD has now passed Zach Langer as the most rushing touchdowns in Jinx history. He already had the overall touchdown record, but they call him Batman, and he has indeed been a superhero for the Trojans, wearing number 2. He passes Zach Langer now as the most rushing touchdowns in a career. That's his 60th rushing touchdown, and I believe his 75th overall touchdown of his career, with 3:05 to go here in the first half.
Just a lot of swagger seems like down there right now, Rob.
They are having fun. They are enjoying themselves. They're enjoying seeing different teammates score touchdowns. A lot of smiles on this Trojan sideline, and rightly so, when you got a 43-point lead with still 3 minutes to go in the first half, and you cannot possibly be more effective, productive, or efficient on the offensive side of the ball than they have been here tonight. This has been a clinic.
Woodland West Pet Resort and Animal Hospital, just off Highway 75. A great Trojan sponsor for years, as Ace Hardware presents this kickoff. And it gets by Coulter. He has to retreat inside the 15-yard line and can't go much further than that. Yeah, we spoke of the Jinx Hall of Fame. You know, the Jinx Museum just announcing that they will have a spot here on the Jinx campus for their Jinx Museum, and hopefully some sort of Hall of Fame for them down the road. But the point being, if you had a Jinx Hall of Fame family, the Sharps would be right up there as far as athletics and everything they've done for the community over the years, for the school system. Gain of a yard here to make it 2nd down and long, and we're under 3 minutes to go here in the first half.
Yeah, I think all of the timeouts are left by both teams. I don't think either team has called a timeout either, so be interesting to see as this drive goes on, if the Trojans try to get some timeouts, keep some clock on the board, and get another score before half. I don't remember getting 60 before half.
No. In fact, thank you for reminding me. I want to say 63 is the record, but we'll look. I know it's been 3 seasons since we've scored over 60 points in a game, as Coulter goes wide, gets some room, and gets buried up at the 35-yard line by Cade Klein.
Interesting to see there, Rob, on that last play. The Lions were letting the clock run down, trying to use some clock. He went ahead and stayed in bounds. Clock's going to run as soon as they set the chains here. So the Lions are trying to eat up some clock to make sure that the Trojans don't have enough time to do anything with it before the end of this half.
63 is the record. They've done it 3 times. 63 points in a half. Last time they did it was 2022 against Southmore. That game they scored 90 overall in the game. Oh, they fumbled it. Carricker says Jinx has it, and they do. Coming up with it is number 40, Pierce Brand.
I thought Coulter fell back on
Bryson
it.
Collier,
yeah, I thought Coulter fell back on it, but evidently he didn't. So good for Bryson right there, able to get on that. And, again, the goal that this defensive staff has to get 3 takeaways every single game, and I think that gets us to 3 in the first half.
I think so.
Which we have not done a whole lot this season. You know, a couple seasons ago, we were really good in the turnover battle, and didn't quite hit some of those marks last year or even earlier this season. So that's something that Coach Gaylor might actually smile about, Rob. We'll have to see if he cracks even a semblance of a grin.
I think we might get a grin at halftime. We'll see here in about 95 seconds.
Flyers lines up as a tight end. Klein split left. Cato in motion. Pop pass to Cato. Running out of real estate and blockers. And gets out of the 30. Look out. That'll be an extra 15.
Yeah, that's a good call there. I mean, they had run him out of bounds. Now, I don't think it was anything malicious by the Lions, but there was just a swarm of bodies that had already driven him out of bounds and then took him to the ground and fell on him. So I think that's the right call there. But I don't think it was anything malicious. I think it just was a matter of momentum and so many guys that were piling on to Cato there at the end of that run. But fortunate, and Cato does a nice job of getting outside, continuing on his path, and using the speed to get to the perimeter to make something happen out of something that didn't look like there was much there to begin with.
Trojans led 22-14 after one quarter and have put 35 points on the board here in the second quarter. Those points in a quarter is 48. With a minute 28 to go, they've got a first down after the personal foul penalty at the Lion 15-yard line. Klein is split left, Cato in the slot right. Caleb Dillard gets the pass intended for him, but it's incomplete.
Not sure who got their hands on it there.
Yeah, batted down at the line of scrimmage, and fortunate on the other side that it wasn't intercepted. Another ball that was up there for a bit too long. Fortunate that one wasn't picked off.
Almost look like a volleyball set. We got to give a shout out to our volleyball team in the state semifinals tomorrow. Verdigris High School playing Edmond Memorial, but it almost looked like a volleyball set there.
Edmond Memorial, the defending champs from a year ago. I think they knocked Jenks out in the semis last year. Carricker to KD. Ooh, he had an opening for a moment. He gets down to the 12-yard line, a gain of 3, a minute 15 remaining.
It would be interesting to see if they bring on a field goal. You know, Mahan hasn't had a chance at a lot of field goals this season. You'd think at some point you want to know what you can do in that regard. So interesting to see what happens is that this is a third down play and then you're winding down the half.
Kazar looks for KD out of the backfield, hit, and down immediately at the 7-yard line. Open field tackle made by Reggie Butler.
I think some people are thinking they got kind of high around the neck and shoulder pad or face mask area there, Rob. I'm not sure.
4th and a long 2, and they call a timeout at the Moore 7-yard line.
Well, they haven't called that timeout yet.
Oh, okay.
Adam Gaylor did mention to the official over here that their desire to call a timeout with 1 second.
Okay.
They want to let this run down, call timeout with 1 second left.
So we'll see if they do bring in Mahan. They're standing by in case he does. And
looks like they're bringing in the field goal unit because the field goal unit started to run out there, but coaches are going, hey, wait a minute, we called timeout, so don't be in a hurry.
I got Jason Mobley out there on the line along with Aruru. 2 offensive starters on the offensive line. Sam McEwen will snap it. Got Carson Odom out there on the edge as one blocker. Braxton Daniel.
Julian Tugwell in there in the middle, as well as Malik Craig.
Landon Webb, who's the normal center, winds up at guard. This will be a field goal attempt from the 14, so a 24-yard try for Mahan. Good snap. Kick is true and through. So Owen Mahan, the sophomore, is 4 for 4 on field goals this season.
I like the call right there. I like the situation. You want to get Mahan. Again, he's 4 for 4, but you want to get him as many opportunities. I think his first one from the left, I believe, is Rob's getting ready. Coach Gaylor.
So it's 60 to 14. Go ahead, Rob.
Down here on the field with head coach Adam Gaylor, 60 points in the first half. You have 8 touchdowns. 7 different players have scored those touchdowns. I know you've talked about them all season long. What is so special about what Tyler Chronister is doing this season and in this game?
How about snapping it to the lineman, all right? And then the Tebow pass with a guy that's scored 8 touchdowns out of that same formation, a couple weeks ago. So just super creative and does a great job of teaching. Like our he makes difficult things very simple to learn for our kids. So he's unbelievable.
And awesome to see those different guys getting involved who maybe haven't tasted the end zone yet this year. And certainly you see it on the sidelines, kind of bleeding through the entire sidelines, the energy and how good everything is working tonight.
Yeah, and especially after the second, third series, I think, on defense, playing really well on defense and again, playing complementary football, getting stops on defense, creating takeaways, getting the offense great field position, allowing them to do their thing. So, love the enthusiasm there.
You are notoriously maybe critical of the defense. Would the 3 takeaways be what's pleased you the most about that first half?
Yeah, and stopping the run. Outside of that last play there right before the end of the half, they ran, we missed a fit there, but other than that, really doing a great job controlling the line of scrimmage. Missed tackle on the second long one, and then we got ran by their best guy, and we got to play better technique than that. But I'll still find some more stuff to be upset about at halftime, I'm sure.
Well, just quickly, in a game like this, as lopsided as it is, what is the message to your team in the second half as far as what you want to see?
Just come out and play well. Like, the standard is the standard. Like, we're going to come out, we're going to play our starters to begin with, and then we'll start mixing some other guys in. But even when some of those other guys get in, play to the standard that we expect.
Coach, appreciate it as always. Thanks very much. Back upstairs, guys.
Thank you, Rob. And of course, it's pink out tonight, and Adam Gaylor with the pink sweatshirt, certainly honoring all those cancer survivors, and his wife Kinsey, a cancer survivor from a little over a year ago. 60-14 Trojans, showing you why they are 18-time state champions and number 2 currently in the state in 6A Division I. For Eric Fox, Don King. We'll come back in a little bit after you hear from the Jenks Band. And to run down the stats for you, brought to you by Good Sense Deli and Subs on Trojan TV.
When pain slows you down, even the simplest movements can feel out of reach. But you don't have to go through it alone. At Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma, we provide the results you want and the care you deserve. From diagnosis to recovery, our specialists offer advanced treatment and personalized care so you can heal and get back to what moves you. Because life keeps moving, and we'll keep you moving with it every step of the way. Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma. Heal, recover, advance.
At Our Best Bank, we believe financial confidence should be within reach for everyone. That's why we're here to help you plan and achieve your goals at every step. Because everyone deserves a financial partner who cares. Our Best Bank, we believe.
Let me tell you about this new pretzel cheddar club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. When I add the Dijon mustard to this pretzel bun, it takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Real guests paid for their testimonials.
It's more than just a rivalry. It's tradition. It's pride. It's Jenks versus Bixby. Win or lose, we know this game just means more. At Mabry Bank, we stand behind both Trojans and Spartans and the families and businesses that make each of these communities great. No matter what colors you wear tonight, we are proud to be your hometown bank. Mabry Bank. You matter at Mabry.
Hi, this is Matt McCoy, former Jenks Trojan. I'm a proud Trojan sponsor this fall. I'm excited for Coach Gaylor and the team. I'd love to help you with your insurance. Please give me a call for a free quote or come by my office at 81st and 129th.
Now entering the field, the Jenks Trojan Pride. The Trojan Pride is under the direction of Penny Martin, Mark Stevenson, Grant Jensen, Jill Johnson, Aaron Hudson, Adam Bruce, and Ryan Gartner. Color Guard is under the direction of Annie Hawkins, Sydney Bruner, Amelia Cannon, Kylie Campbell, and Braxton Milewski. Additional production staff includes Robert Slayden, Carol Chambers, Brett Kuhn, Peter Beckhart, and Justin Shelton. This year's show is entitled All Boundaries Are Conventions and includes the following musical selections: Singularity by Block Math, The Children's Hour of Dream by the Mingus Big Band, I Can't Make You Love Me by Bonnie Raitt, and Night Steam from the Metropolis Symphony by Michael Dougherty. The premise behind the program is that all boundaries are just illusions we create in our mind, whether it's a literal barrier, an emotional barrier in our head, or a musical barrier that exists. Throughout the show, we will find ways to manipulate the space visually and make musical choices that are unexpected or evolve from the original material. And now, for your halftime entertainment, drum majors Diana Arguello, Cooper Knox, Emily Taylor, and Molly Trout, and the Jenks Trojan Pride.
Well, welcome to another Student Athlete Spotlight. I'm Eric Fox, one of the assistant principals at Jenks. Very excited to have a Trojan football player with us today representing student athletes. This is JJ Emmons. JJ, thanks for joining us today on the conversation.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. So just real quick, why don't you tell us like when you came to Jenks and what are some of the classes that you've enjoyed at Jenks so far?
I came to Jenks in 5th grade, and since then I've enjoyed a lot of honors classes, a lot of high difficulty
AP classes,
taking a very well-rounded STEM-heavy course load.
Yeah.
Because hopefully in the future I want to pursue aerospace engineering, and it's just been really great to have all these opportunities.
So you've been in AP Calc AB, AP Calc BC, you're taking AP Stat this year, you've taken a couple of classes at TCC as well. Who are some of your favorite teachers that have kind of helped you across your academic career here at the high school?
I mean, it's really hard to pick just a few. Ms. Fouts has been really helpful with rec letters and writing a lot of those. And a bunch of others come to mind, Ms. Sutton, Mr. Ponder, Mr. Bragg, Ms. Rumsey, and all of my teachers have been so helpful.
Yeah, because you have pretty lofty goals. Tell us a little bit, what do you hope to be doing this time next year? Where do you hope to be?
Hopefully this time next year I'll be at the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis. And that's been my dream for a long time. And I'm really hopeful to see where it takes me.
Yeah, and so kind of aerospace engineering or some in an aviation-related field, which is awesome. We had Joshua Hildebrand last week talking about he's wanting to go into that same opportunity perhaps. So if you don't go to the Naval Academy, what are some other options you're looking at?
I'm looking at a bunch of different ROTC programs. Notre Dame comes to mind, Michigan are our top choices. But there's just a lot of really good ROTC programs out there that do commission you into whatever service you may choose, and it can give you great opportunities to not only pay for your college, but to set you up for the future.
So what kind of got you interested in military service then?
Well, my family has some members in the military, but not a huge military family. What really kick-started my decision to want to go to the Naval Academy specifically was I went to the Society of American Military Engineers engineering camp over the summer. Not this summer, but 2 summers ago, summer before sophomore year, in California. And it was really great. I got to talk with Naval Academy graduates and current midshipmen, and I kept in contact with them, and we had to spend a week on a naval base learning about engineering and opportunities of being in the Navy, and it was just really cool to see that. And the more I've learned about it, the more I've been impressed with the opportunities and services that they provide.
That's great. That's great. So I know you spent a lot of time, like you were talking about this summer, you got to go to Washington, D.C. before your 18th birthday. You got to meet somebody pretty important while you were there. Tell us about that.
This summer, I went to Boise State, and then after that, we took a trip to D.C. after the Naval Academy Summer Seminar in Maryland. So it was just a really cool trip overall, but we got to see a lot of how the government works. I got to meet with Senator Mark Wayne Mullen. We got to talk with him, got a nice tour of the Capitol. It was just really, really awesome to be able to see that our government, how it works in person, and connect with the people and see those faces and just make that connection.
All right. Well, besides the big academic stuff that you do here, you're on the football team. We'll talk about that in a minute. But what are some of the other clubs that you're involved in? You're in student body leadership. I know we've talked to a couple of people from student body leadership on this spotlight before, but tell us what you do in student body leadership first.
In student body leadership, my main role is on the mentorships committee. We go around to elementary schools all around Jenks, and we basically, during just a quick little hour, we play some games and interact with these kids and just teach them about leadership skills and mentorship skills. And I think it's really cool to see the connection with these kids that we can make and just the difference we can make in such a short period of time.
All right. And you were also recognized as one of the National Merit semifinalists from Jenks. You had to take the PSAT test and score in the top area of that. So tell us how you prepared for the PSAT.
For the PSAT, I was lucky enough to be able to get to do the summer school PSAT class, which was kind of a big time commitment. It was very often we'd go into school in summer. I know not a lot of people want to be at school during summer. And it was kind of an empty building, which was an interesting experience, but we just got in there. We had a book. We would work through some problems, and just gave me good practice to prepare.
Okay. So you're a senior on the football team. You got a new head coach, Coach Gaylor. So it's different coming into your senior year and changing coaches and stuff like that. What What has this senior year meant to you? Tell us about, what position you play on the team, but also what this senior year of football has meant to you so far.
Yeah, in football, I'm an outside linebacker and a tight end. And really, this senior year in football has been an amazing opportunity just to experience all of the hard work we put in together as a team and the community. And this year, everybody is very close-knit, I would say. The community is really great, and we're always building each other up. I mean, if somebody's having a bad day, we're always getting up for them. The energy is great, and just the team is very cohesive, and I really appreciate the community that it builds.
All right. Well, JJ, thank you for the opportunity to have this conversation. Like you said, you do a great job in the classroom. You do a great job in your leadership roles on the field, your mentorship opportunities. And of course, we wish you the best of luck with your future endeavors, whether that's the Naval Academy, a great goal, but whatever it is. Thanks for all you do at Jenks High School.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Trojan family.
Jay Emmons, we'll talk more about him as we move along. Let's take a look at the halftime stats brought to you by Good Sense Deli and Subs.
Well, one thing that jumps out is your turnover battle, right? And that's something we're not always on the upside of. And 3 turnovers tonight, and offense is capitalized on all of them. So not just the yardage, but what we've been able to do, and then sustaining drives, lots of first downs there, and actually on the right side of the penalty battle tonight. So for the most part, you've done things well, but you want to continue that. Could be a short half, could be a running clock here. So we want to make sure that we keep the momentum and, like Coach said, execute to the standard.
Trojans will send back Cade Klein and KD Jones up front. They'll bring Braxton Talon up at about the 20-yard line. Also want to mention some guys on the line of scrimmage go both way in the kickoffs, like Grady Harrigal, a sophomore they're excited about. Number 47 as well, Tyler Morris, a backup linebacker. And 28, Zane Seeger. Uh-oh. All right, they cough it up, but cover it at the 28-yard line. So here come the Trojans. It'll be a running clock here in the third quarter. Trojans leading rather easily at this point. 60 points on the board in the first half. We mentioned earlier the Jenks record is 63. KD tonight, 1 of 1 passing for 22 yards and a touchdown. 14 carries, 54 yards and 2 touchdowns. And receiving 3 catches, 26 yards. First and 10 Trojans at the 28-yard line. This is Katie trying to bust one, and he gets about 5. That's one thing this Moore defense has not allowed, is the big run by KD Jones here in this game.
But those 5 yards kind of help and keep the drives alive, and that's why we saw so many first downs in that first half as well.
Kazar with time, airs it out, looking for Caleb Dillard, and this one's picked off. Flag down and out of bounds is the interceptor, Xavier Hawkins.
I think that could be pass interference with the push in the back on Dillard. It seemed like the flag kind of came out late, but I do think that's the right call. But Dillard, almost need to be a defender on that play, because he's waiting the ball to get there. It's kind of high, and he gets shoved in the back, and so catch a break there. Good protection by the line to give Landon some time. He delivers the deep ball and just hangs up there a little bit, and the defender shoves Dillard in the back, and the Trojans are going to be the beneficiaries of that call.
Landon Kazar a couple of weeks ago in that Mustang game where KD had 445 yards rushing, 8 touchdowns. It really went unnoticed. But Kazar, 24 of 27 in that game passing. That's the best pass completion ratio for anybody over 25 passes in a game in Jenks history. And Kazar, who has a running touchdown, slides down at the 45-yard line.
Rob doing a nice job decision-making and taking care of the ball right there, even though sliding in gets all he can get.
Yeah, just like to see that decisiveness, right? Not wavering at all, just knows exactly how far to go, when to get down, and we got another flag here at the end of this one.
That might be a face mask. It looks like Caleb Dillard got his mask twisted.
That could be a hold on Jalen on the block there. I don't know if we'll be able to see this from this angle, but I think they're saying that Jalen was holding his guy out on the edge as Dillard was running past him.
So that will negate his 6th catch of the night.
But yeah, you talk about his performance. I mean, lots of quarterbacks would love to have that performance.
Wouldn't
and then the running back does what he does, and everybody forgets about what you did. But just a testament to the weapons this Trojan offense has and what Coach Connors should put together. I'm sorry, Rob, did I talk over you there?
No, I was just going to say one of the other impressive things about the offensive output tonight is not just the number of points on the scoreboard, but the fact that they really have limited the penalties. It's been a little bit of an issue for this team over the last few weeks and done a nice job of staying away from that kind of stuff tonight.
There's the best run of the night for KD down to the 30-yard line, a gain of 14. So a new set of downs. First downs brought to you by the 10 District, downtown Jenks. From the Moore 30-yard line, over the middle, Braxton Daniel already has a touchdown, and he's down to the 6-yard line, a gain of 24.
Tough catch there in the middle, and he kind of bobbles it, but he knows that there's bodies around, thinking he's going to get hit, trying to get that catch secured. That's a double move, looking for the outside guy, wasn't there. He checks down to Braxton in the middle. Good read by Landon.
KD gets pushed back. That'll be a loss of a yard.
Yeah, defensive penetration right there. Just KD gets slung back to the turf, and he's wishing that he had that back because he is not a running back that goes backward very often at all.
Not too often. Trojan Football is brought to you by Mitiera, proud sponsor this season of Trojan Football. Look for coupons in the neighborhood Val Packs through your mail. Check out their daily specials. They have a new location at 61st and Yale in the Kings Point Shopping Center. Up top, Decato looking for his first score of the game and of the season, and they'll say he's out of bounds just outside the goal line at the 1-yard line.
Stretching that ball for the pylon, but just a little bit short, Rob.
Yeah, I got him marked right at the 1. Nose of the ball right on the 1-yard line. Riley Kester out of the game on this opening drive for the Trojan offense, guys. Left guard right now is Zachary McKenzie.
Okay. Thank you for the update. 3rd and goal from the 1. H-backs are McAnally and Odom. This time to the right side. They go right, and KD's in for another score.
Just a power run right there. Just right on that right side. I don't know if he's holding his hip or that's his celebration dance. For me, Rob, that would look like I was limping. Maybe he's dancing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Definitely looked like he was limping, but also a big smile on his face while he was doing that. So tough to tell. 3rd of the night, though, for Katie Jones. And this offense just picks up right where it left off at halftime.
Kick is good by Mahan. So that makes it 67-14, and the clock continues to run with 6:20 remaining on the board. Ask you a question while we have time. You retired, you coached here, 10 years, 11 years, something like that?
Oh, gosh.
12?
You know, I'm not a math guy, so.
You're a history guy. But when you retired, how difficult was it for you, or was it difficult for you to retire? I mean, you went in more into administration at that time, right?
Well, yeah, I kind of had 2 stints. You know, I worked with Coach Trimble and the varsity staff for 8 years and then stepped away for a little bit. Had a young family, kind of hard on my wife. And again, you got to give it up to coaches' wives and families and stuff. They put in as many hours as the coaching staff does, just in a different way. But stepped away for a little bit, and then when my kids got older, I started coaching back in the junior high system again, coached junior high wrestling, and then 9th grade football for a couple of years until I got into administration. Once I got into being an assistant principal, couldn't coach anymore, but fortunately I've had a chance to be around the athletic department and support the athletic department, and of course part of the Trojan football broadcast family. Working with you is just a real honor, and then this new segment that we got to focus on this year, our student athlete spotlight, just really enjoying that, working with Mike Catterson, Manny Nightingale, Baron Potter, and Keith Riggs with our student athlete leadership team. So still really involved and very appreciative of that opportunity.
25-yard line and up to the 32. And that's where Moore will start. One of the reasons two reasons for the running clock, I would assume. It has to be requested, if I believe this is right, that both coaches have to agree on it. I know that. Usually it's, I'm not sure if it's requested by the losing team or the team that's ahead, but certainly the score's out of hand, 67-14. But the weather is, there was a thunderstorm in Oklahoma City moving up the turnpike, as they usually do, around in the Chandler area. So we should expect a shower before the end of the evening or overnight. And so they want to get this game wrapped up as quickly as possible, and a flag down after the tackle.
Yeah, good defense right there. You've got some different defensive guys out there. Cade Hodges out there, one of the ones out on the edge. I guess they're maybe calling face mask. I'm not really sure what it is. Maybe it's a face mask. We'll see if it's a 5-yard. Looks like a 5-yard variety, but got Julian Tugwell out there along with McAnally. You got some different corners out there. Now you got Jalen Friday closest to our screen down here. I think maybe Zion is still up at the top, but starting to see some different guys roll in there, different positions.
You mentioned Cade Hodges. His younger brother has been moved up from the 9th grade team. They've had 3 players move up from the 9th grade to play, or at least suit up for varsity games. Could actually get into some action here in the next couple of weeks. That is Colt Kalmus as a linebacker. He's the last of the Kalmus boys. I mentioned Cade Hodges' younger brother. I believe it's Hunter Hodges. And then they also moved up yet another Jamison Mobley is already up, obviously, starting right tackle. Seems like they moved up one more freshman recently. See if I can find it. 2nd down and 3 after the gain of 3, or 2nd and 2 rather, after the gain of 3, and it's Coulter for the first down.
Really good opportunity here in the second half, but also over the course of the next 2 weeks, guys, as it seems fairly unlikely that you're going to get a lot of resistance from Enid and Edmond North, so you would expect some 2nd and 3rd team guys to get really good reps and a lot of playing time, opportunity for them to put something on tape, for coaches to evaluate, and just valuable repetition and experience. There's no substitute for that.
Exactly. Moore gets their 6th first down at the 44. And a nice open field play by Carson Odom.
Carson gets out there quickly along with Lincoln Metalstedt. I think was out there on the edge. Or that may be Cam Clinton that's in there now.
Yeah, Clinton, number 41, a sophomore defensive back. Aiden Stevens played a little bit in the first half, maybe quite a bit, and he had 12 tackles last week coming in a reserve role. There was a look at Jalen Friday into the game. Gain of 1 on the last play, 2nd down and 9 from the 45-yard line. Minute 20 remaining in this running clock here in the 3rd quarter. Coulter gets stood up. By the way, halftime score in the NFL, Chargers, who have lost 3 of their last 4, beating the Vikings, who have lost 3 of their last 5. So both of those teams needing a win desperately, and the Chargers at home leading at halftime 21-3.
Bryson Collier in there, and J.J. Emmons, the guy that we got to have the student-athlete spotlight conversation with, getting in there at the game as well.
Incomplete to make it 4th down and 8.
What I like right there is good pressure, even though you got some different guys coming up front, getting good pressure on the quarterback, driving him straight into his face. He's trying to drive it over the middle, but you got Devin Whalen playing, dropping from his linebacker position, making it a really tight window. Very difficult throw to make right there, and so big incompletion.
Oh, did I just see lightning?
And that might be a delay.
Oh, boy. Yep. Clay Martin is coming onto the field, Jenks athletic director.
Well, they had a presentation pre-planned here. They had a presentation that they were going to do between the third and fourth quarters with one of our local communities, but those are the sirens, guys, and the stadium is starting to clear out. Players are headed to the locker room.
Yeah, that's the lightning signal here on the district campus, so not a severe weather, but it looks like they may do this presentation, and I don't know, they may call it a night. We'll have to see.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise you either, would it? So the presentation down on the field is for Gateway Mortgage, presenting Jenks High School Athletics $1,000. This isn't the first time a game has been moved. We had a game moved, Keith Reeks and I talking about this before the game in 2018. We had a game moved at Broken Arrow. The district opener was moved from a Friday to a Thursday because of the weather. We had a quarterfinal game in the playoffs moved against Midwest City back in 2013, I believe that was. And also the state championship game in 2013 was moved because of weather. Had a couple of those, and then the championship game in 2006 was moved. Now, here comes the, there's a look at the radar. Good job,
Trojan
fellas.
TV
I
coming
mean,
up
they
with,
are working it, man. Good job, fellas.
Alan Crone's got nothing on
Exactly.
you guys, man. And I love me some Alan Crone.
Andrew Leahy is our resident meteorologist. I believe they're talking to see if they're going to call this game and head to the house and let Moore try to get back home. We'll see.
There's a certain window that has to be, you have to be clear of all lightning for
30 minutes.
30 minutes. So even if there was no more lightning at this moment, you couldn't get back on the field till 9:30. You'd have to have some warm-up time. And so Rob Labor down on the spot there. There's some hands shaking.
Take a break and come back and see what they decide here in a moment on Trojan TV.
Hi, this is Matt McCoy, former Jenks Trojan. I'm a proud Trojan sponsor this fall. I'm excited for Coach Gaylor and the team. I'd love to help you with your insurance. Please give me a call for a free quote or come by my office at 81st and 129th.
Let me tell you about this new Pretzel Cheddar Club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. When I add the Dijon mustard to this pretzel bun, it takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Our pets are more than just pets. They're our people, our family. And when they get sick, we want them to be cared for like family. At Woodland West, pet care is personal. We care for your animals the same way we care for our own. As the most comprehensive facility in the Tulsa area for everything from diagnostics to treatment, you can trust that our team of compassionate veterinary experts are delivering the care your animal deserves. Your pet is always there for you. Let us be there to keep them in good health. Woodland West Animal Hospital.
All right.
We done.
Here we go. Let's go down to Rob Labor.
Okay, we're going to grab Coach Gaylor here real quick as the game has just been declared a final. Jenks wins it 67-14. Obviously, you want to play a full game and evaluate some of those young guys on the field, but in this case, with weather moving in, Coach, probably the right decision for both sides.
Yeah, safety issue, obviously, and with the weather moving in, get more out of here as soon as possible for their safety, too. And, just proud of our guys, how they came out, and we challenged them there to start the second half fast, and they did, and started sprinkling in some guys defensively as well there in that first series.
I know the outcome is lopsided. What can you take away? What can you pull from this film to lead into the next 2 weeks as you continue for that playoff preparation and get your guys peaking at the right time?
We got a lot to clean up. Landon missed some throws tonight. He'd like to have back. I know Coach Cronster wasn't very happy about that. Defensively, a couple breakdowns there, on the one. And it's really not like a positional deal. It's just a technique and how we need to play it, and then missed tackle on the second one. But really proud of how we stopped the run defensively. If you can stop the run, you got a chance to win. Like couple weeks ago we didn't play very good on defense against Mustang. They threw for 300-something yards, and we still won the football game because they rushed for just a little bit over 100. So stop the run, you got a great chance to win.
Give me a quick word about what wearing this color means to you and your family, and what it means to you to see all the super fans decked out in pink tonight.
Trying to get me to break down, Rob. I did in front of the kids earlier, and it means, before all the, before Kenzie's situation, obviously is very important, but until it's there in your house and you see all the things that she goes through and went through and battled through, and didn't miss a soccer game, hardly missed any work, and she was on, especially during her second round, was on really bad stuff and was super sick. And just to see, her battle and to see everybody wearing pink, you kind of understand what it means. And I challenged them before the game, talked to them. I'm like, there's people going through, fighting this disease, battling, we need to honor them with our effort and our toughness and our grit, because that's exactly who they are. I know how Kenzie is, and she's the toughest person I know, and so we need to go out and honor her with how we play.
Well, you guys did that and then some tonight, Coach, so congratulations on that. Well done, well played. We'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate you.
All right, guys. That's a wrap from the field.
All right. Thank you, Rob Labor. Good job. And thanks to Adam Gaylor for visiting with us. So the Trojans win at 67-14. Eric Fox, they'll go to all 15 margin points for the win at plus 15. So everything taken care of.
Yeah, and you're coming out of it healthy, and that's an important part. And, again, like I said, safety for the fans, for the traveling team, for everybody is paramount. So I think that's the right call. Again, good job by Coach Martin and his staff in moving the game tonight to make sure you get it in. I know on the west side they're still trying to see what they can do about those games.
Mustang has just gone ahead of Bixby to start that game 6-0.
Yeah, and it's going to be late. And, this way, also, I know our players are excited because this way they can get home a little bit earlier and study for all those tests and quizzes they're looking forward to tomorrow.
And we need to get the Trojan TV crew out of here before the weather hits. So for Eric Fox, Rob Labor, our producer Mason Prince, and Andrew Leahy, our director, thanks for joining us. Trojans win it. Thanks for joining us earlier than scheduled on Trojan TV.